Welcome back to Midnight Oil, where we take you on a journey through history, culture, and some of the world's most fascinating mysteries. I'm Keeg.
And I'm Tab. Tonight, we're diving into a list that blew everyone's minds when it was announced back in 2000. The modern seven wonders of the world.
Been 25 years since that list was revealed, so we thought, why not revisit these wonders and see what makes them so special today?
Plus, we'll dig into the controversies, the fan favorites that didn't make the cut, and why these seven monuments were chosen to represent humanity's greatest achievements.
And here's a head scratcher for you. Which wonder is actually older than any of the original seven wonders of the ancient world? Stick around to find out.
Okay, so let's kick things off by talking about how the modern seven wonders of the world list actually came to be. So this wasn't just some historian's pet project, it was actually a global event. Back in the 1990s, the late 1990s, a Swiss based organization called the New Seven Wonders Foundation, that's actually crazy, um, decided it was time for an update. The original seven wonders of the ancient world were incredible, but only one of them, which was the Great Pyramid of Giza, still exists. So they wanted a new list that represented the modern world. But instead of leaving that decision to a small group of experts, they actually opened it up to the entire planet. And this was one of the first large scale global voting events, taking advantage of the internet and mobile technology to let anyone and everyone participate. Over 100 million votes were cast worldwide. That's insane to think about. And people from every corner of the globe had a chance to weigh in. So that's a level of global participation you'd never see with the original list, which was basically just a list of what ancient Greeks thought was cool. But the new list, it's way more diverse with wonders from every continent except Antarctica. And here's a little fun fact. Did you know that the final seven were announced on July 7th, 2007? 777.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I wonder if they did that on purpose.
They really leaned into the whole seven theme, if they did.
So that kind of leads into how they were selected. So it's really broken up into three categories. One, cultural and historical significance. Two, architectural and artistic achievement. And three, the ability to inspire awe. So, running through those, the purpose of the criteria for cultural and historical significance was that it emphasizes a monument's role in representing the culture, values, and identity of the civilization that built it. The chosen wonders needed to be deeply intertwined with history and legacy of their respective regions, and the longevity of its influence on culture and history even to present day. Leads into two, architectural and art or artistic achievement, usually both. It highlights the extraordinary skill and creativity involved in constructing the monuments, often using innovative techniques or materials that were far ahead of their time, and influence on later architectural styles or techniques. And that leads into the last one, which is the ability to inspire awe, which is basically beyond historical and architectural merits. The wonders were chosen for their ability to evoke a profound sense of wonder that inspired both visitors and those who learn about them. So you're talking about a bunch of stuff that it's almost like a little dance, right? You have to like really hammer home what it means to be a wonder of the world. And honestly, I thought it was kind of cringe that they made like modern wonders of the world. Like the ancient ones are like super important and like actually like massive feats. And then I realized that a lot of them aren't around anymore. So I guess they had to pick some other ones. And yeah, that's what I got. Those are the reasons and the building blocks of how they picked them.
That's really cool.
But now I think we're gonna go kind of go back and forth and talk a little bit about some of the wonders.
Yeah, so why don't you start us off with
Okay.
the Great Wall?
Yeah. So the Great Wall of China, it's thousands of miles long, like 13,000 miles long, which is a lot of miles. Go try and walk 13,000 miles. Let me tell you, that won't be fun. So the construction of the Great Wall began as early as the 7th century BCE during the Warring States period. Initially, independent states in China built smaller walls to defend their territories. These were later connected when the first emperor of a unified China, and I'm really sorry for these pronunciations, Qin Shi Huang consolidated the walls in 221 BCE. And over the centuries, successive dynasties, especially the Ming dynasty from 1368 to 1644, expanded and fortified the wall, adding bricks, stone, watchtowers, and stuff like that. And the scale and design of it, holy, like I was saying, the wall spans over 13,000 miles across northern China, which, to kind of put that into perspective, you could go from New York to Los Angeles and back 2 times. You could definitely cross the United States nearly 5 times.
That's crazy work, actually.
Yeah, so it's crazy. It's long. I just wanted to put that in perspective. The purpose and the function was obviously defense, and then trade regulation, and just to be a cultural symbol. So it was built primarily to protect China from invasions by northern Nordic tribes like the Xiongnu, which were the precursors to the Huns. The wall helped control the tax goods moving along the Silk Road, which ran parallel to parts of the wall. And beyond its military function, the wall became a symbol of China's strength, unity, and architectural ingenuity. There's a lot of other fun facts. Oh, I guess some of them aren't so fun, but there's a bunch of other facts. But the last one I'll leave you off with is contrary to popular belief, the Great Wall of China is not visible from space with the naked eye. This myth likely originated as an exaggeration of its massive scale.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, so take us on in, right? The Great Wall of China was huge, right? But that's literally not like, I won't say it's nothing, right? But it, like, all of these are very different from each other, so it's hard to compare them, which is I guess why they're the wonders of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So like, for example, you're going to tell us about Petra in Jordan, and it's beautiful. It is
Yes,
so cool.
very that. So Petra, it's also known as the Lost City, and this place is something like straight out of an adventure movie. Petra is a city literally carved into rose red rock in the heart of Jordan's desert. It was built by the Nabateans, and we found a friend on how to say this. And they were an ancient Arab civilization around the 4th century BCE. And let me tell you, these guys knew how to make an entrance. If you just look at the treasury, one of Petra's most iconic structures, the treasury, or Al Khazne, Al Khazne, it's incredible. Its ornate facade is carved directly into the sandstone cliff, and it's nearly 40 meters tall. So it's like the Nabateans were showing off their engineering and artistic skills to anyone that was passing through. And a lot of people actually did pass through. Petra was a major trade hub. It was connecting Arabia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean. The Nabateans made their fortune trading spices, incense, and textiles, and they used their wealth to build this stunning city. Over time, though, Petra was abandoned and it slipped into obscurity. So that's how it earned their name as the Lost City. It wasn't until 1812 that a Swiss explorer named Johann Ludwig Burckhardt rediscovered it for the Western world. But here's a fun
Whoa.
fact that I'll leave you off on. Did you know that Petra has a sophisticated water management system? The Nabateans built aqueducts, cisterns, and even a dam to control the flow of water, making life in the desert possible. But let's keep this journey going. Keeg, why don't you take us into another wonder?
Absolutely. We have another, so just a little preface. All of these were voted on the internet in 2000. So I personally don't think that this is accurate. At least the things that were picked, because people without the internet, like in 2000, the internet wasn't the most like widespread thing yet. Like now, obviously, you can't imagine a world without internet, but in 2000, that shit was still like on the up and up. So just like keep all of that in mind. I think that's insane.
Agreed. And the fact that there were so many votes as well.
Yeah. So there were a lot of votes, but a lot of people also didn't get to vote. And I think that's also important to remember. So we're at Christ the Redeemer in Brazil. And the purpose was to be built as a symbol of peace, love, and protection, intended to overlook and bless the city of Rio de Janeiro. Which, shout out to the movie Rio. I don't know if it did the city justice, but I love that movie, and I'm gonna assume it did. The idea was first proposed in the 1850s by a Catholic priest, but funding and support didn't materialize until the 1820s. The final push came as a way to commemorate Brazil's centenary of independence in 1922. And some of the architectural details, it was designed by Brazilian engineer Heitor da Silva Costa and with French sculptor Paul Landowski crafting the statue. It was made of reinforced concrete and covered in soapstone, chosen for its durability and smooth, light reflecting surface. And it was 98 feet tall with an additional 26-foot pedestal, making the total height 124 feet. And its outstretched arms had a span much longer than mine at 92 feet long.
Whoa. That's almost as long as mine.
Yeah, yeah, statistically, if you didn't know, Tab's arms are 92 and a half feet long. So,
Yep.
construction began in 1926 and was completed in 1931, taking 5 years. And workers faced significant challenges transporting materials up Mount Corcovado, a steep 2,300-foot peak without modern equipment. And the cultural impact that it had, it was featured in films, literature, global media as an enduring symbol of Brazil. And since then, the statue has undergone restoration projects to repair damage from lightning strikes and erosion, stuff like that. And Tab, we are going to kind of bullet through all of these. I didn't realize how long it was going to take us to talk about some of these. So, toss us. I'm tossing you, actually. You know what? We're just going into it. uh, Take us into Machu Picchu.
Yeah, so Machu Picchu in Peru. This one, it's called the Lost City of the Incas. So it's perched high in the Andes Mountain, about 7,970 feet above sea level. It was built in the 15th century during the reign of the Incan Emperor Pachacuti. I am very unfortunately Midwestern. And it's a
Yeah.
masterpiece of engineering and architecture. It's in such a remote and rugged location. The Incas used a technique called ashlar, where they fit stones together so perfectly you can't even slip a piece of paper between them. No mortar needed. And they built it for functionality as well. The Machu Picchu has an incredible system of terraces for farming, along with advanced irrigation channels to control water flow. But here's the thing, nobody really knows its exact purpose. Some historians think it was a royal estate or a religious site, while others believe it was a retreat for the Incan elite. But then it was abandoned, likely due to the Spanish conquest or disease, and remained hidden from the world for centuries. It wasn't until 1911 that an American explorer, Hiram Bingham, rediscovered it and brought it to international attention. But since we're doing a speed run, and let's dive into another incredible wonder. Take it away.
Chichen Itza! Which I don't know if I'm saying that correctly or offensively, so please let me know, and I apologize if it is the latter. But real quick, it was once a thriving Mayan city. Chichen Itza was a religious, political, and economic hub between the 9th and 12th centuries. Its most famous structure, El Castillo, the Pyramid of Kukulkan, is a marvel of Mayan engineering designed to align with the sun during solstices. I didn't even look that one up. I think I just knew that somehow. During these events, the play of light and shadow creates the illusion of a serpent slithering down the pyramid steps, which is a little spooky. The city also features the Great Ball Court, temples, and observatories showcasing the Mayans' deep knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and architecture. Now, Chichen Itza remains a symbol of the Mayan civilization's ingenuity and cultural significance, which I think is really cool.
Hmm.
So now you get to talk about one of my favorite, probably modern wonders of the world, potentially by far.
This one is really cool. I'll be real. But yeah, let's dive into the Roman Colosseum in Italy. So, this place was a testament to Roman engineering and cultural dominance. So, the Colosseum, also known as the Flavian Amphitheater, is the largest amphitheater ever built, completed in 80 CE under Emperor Titus. It could hold up to 50,000 spectators, and trust me, they packed the house. So we're talking gladiator battles, animal hunts, and they even had mock naval battles. They would flood the arena with water and stage full on ship fights. But the Colosseum wasn't just a stadium used for entertainment. They actually used some of these events as political tools, used by emperors to gain favor with the public and demonstrate their power. But what really stands out is the engineering. The Colosseum was built with concrete and travertine stone, featuring a complex system of vaults and arches that made it both sturdy and functional. It even had a retractable awning system called the Valerium to shield spectators from the sun. Beneath the arena floor was the Hypogeum, It was an underground network of tunnels and chambers where animals and gladiators were prepped before their dramatic entrances. And a cute little fun fact, did you actually know the Colosseum is estimated to have hosted over 500,000 deaths during its active years?
Whoa, that's a lot,
Yeah,
especially back then.
and I think that's crazy.
Yeah. Also, Spartacus fought there, which is like one of the most well-known Roman figures in history,
Oh,
who was also enslaved and trained as a gladiator to fight.
whoa.
Yeah.
But that's all I got. Take us into the next one.
So finally, the Taj Mahal in India, built in the 17th century by Emperor Shah Jahan, or Shah Jahan, apologies, as a mausoleum for his wife. Oh, I'm really sorry about this one. Mumtaz Mahal. The Taj Mahal is a masterpiece of Mughal architecture, made of white marble adorned with intricate inlays of semi precious stones. It combines Persian, Islamic, and Indian design elements, and it's widely regarded as a symbol of eternal love. And it's also a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the most visited landmarks in the world, which is really, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was one of the most visited, but that would make sense. And then that kind of leads us into wrapping up, where I'm just going to go through really quick about wonders that didn't make the cut. And again, I really think that some of this is just simply because the voting was done online. So, number one, the Eiffel Tower in France. It was built in 1889. It's like the centerpiece of Paris, right? So, obviously, that makes sense. The Acropolis of Athens in Greece, built in the 5th century. I mean, it's just beautiful. Go take a look at it. And then the Sydney Opera House in Australia that opened in 1973. It just it's also just beautiful. So, those are the wonders that did not quite make the cut, unfortunately. And we're going to wrap that up there, I think.
Yeah, so to sum it all up, each of the wonders that were chosen tell a unique story of human achievement, and it's really amazing how they've stood the test of time. And it sucks that only 7 could make the list. But from ancient trade routes to modern masterpieces, the modern 7 wonders of the world remind us of humanity's incredible ability to dream big and build even bigger.
And while it has been 25 years since the list was announced, these wonders do continue to inspire millions of visitors every single year.
It's your turn, listeners. Which of the new 7 wonders is your favorite? Or do you think a different place deserved to make the cut? Either drop a comment on wherever you're listening, or you can message us on any of our socials. They can all be found in the description below.
And thank you guys for joining us on this journey. This is one of those topics that we really, really enjoyed, and I'm super excited for the Friday episode. So don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, Blue Sky, Spotify, review the podcast, share the podcast, love the podcast, and comment on the podcast so we can get it out to more people because oh boy, are we rolling. And we're going to see you guys with some more of the world's most fascinating stories on Friday.
On Friday.
Nighties!
Good night.